Hi, everyone. How are you all feeling? Today, I want to cover the topic of dealing with job search anxiety. So, working with clients, one of the things I'm noticing when they first come is that they're so anxious. And what that ends up doing is that it dents the confidence. And so people are going through sleepless nights, worrying about money. And what that does is it creates a loop of low confidence. And I think we all know that when we job hunting or job searching, one of the things we want to be super strong in is confidence, because even when you're having conversations with recruiters, or if you get a phone call from a hiring manager, your whole energy needs to be uplifted, right? You need to come across as someone who's confident. And that's really hard to do when you're worried and you're stressed and you're anxious. And so I just want to offer a couple of tips on how to deal with that job search anxiety. So one of the things I notice when my clients first come is that they're really overwhelmed. And it's natural to feel overwhelmed when you know the market is so tight. I mean, it's been ages since we've been in this kind of really volatile market. I mean, job markets fluctuate. We all know that. There's times when there's peak markets and other times when there's down markets. And that's pretty much the natural cycle of anything, right? Real estate markets, job hunting markets, all of those. They go through peaks and troughs. But it has been many decades since we've been dealing with such a volatile market brought on by obviously a pandemic and, the current GFC in the world. It's been ages. I believe the last time there was a major pandemic was in, 1920 or whenever, around the Spanish flu, right? So it has been a long time since we've dealt with something like this. And so the anxiety and the worry and the stress is probably on steroids at the moment, right? So many people are feeling so anxious, down, overwhelmed, not sure where to start. So what I want to say about a strategy for overwhelm. So if you're feeling overwhelmed in your job search, one of the things I want you to consider is creating a plan, first of all. So, there's that old saying is that a man with a plan, will always beat a genius without a plan. So creating a plan, even a system around job searching, is really important. And I try to break it down really simply for my clients. So, for example, you can go, okay, I'm in the market now. I've got to do this job hunting palaver. So where do I start? So obviously what you would do, or what I encourage people to do, is to create headings. So you might go, your first heading might be, I need to update my resume. Your second heading might be, I need to update my LinkedIn. Your third heading might be, I need to update a cover letter or have a cover letter ready to go. Another heading might be, I need to start building relationships with people on LinkedIn. The other heading might be, need to reach out to my network, whatever your headings are. And what you do in your plan is you then break down those sections to actionable steps. So for example, I'm going to cover off the resume writing heading. So what I will normally say to people is, okay, so now you're going to get ready to write your resume. So before you even begin that process of writing the resume, create the subsections. So, have a section called summary, resume summary, because that's where you're going to put that little sharp value proposition summary that we have at the beginning of resumes. And then create, professional experience section and put a note there, structure in order of newest to oldest. So you're going to structure your job roles in terms of newest to oldest. You're only going to be focusing on your last 10 years. And then another heading could be, doing similar with your education section. So education too, from newest to oldest. So what was this thing you studied the most recently? So did you do a course in something, say in 2021? Did you do a project management course? Did you do a leadership course? Whatever that may be. And you structure that. And then you create a section also. Make sure under your resume writing specific sections, you have a section for the snapshot of your core skills and expertise, right? So you start putting that little structure in place, and then you start working on one little section at a time. Because what happens when you create a focused plan and you action it a tiny step at a time is, number one, it reduces overwhelm and it gives you a place to start, a structure to start with. And that's really important to help you reduce those feelings of overwhelm. Having a structure to start with, something that you can action a little bit on every single day. The other thing I want to say about resume or job hunting stress and anxiety is when you feel, it's natural to feel anxiety and uncertainty. Often we sit there wondering, how long is this job hunting process going to last? And then we also worry about how long we're going to be able to sustain ourselves. If you've got savings in the bank or things like that, you do worry, well, if it's going to take 3 months, 6 months, whatever, am I going to have enough savings to see me or the family through over that time? And so it's natural that those things is going to be anxiety or stress inducing. And so here's the thing I want you to consider is to focus on that, to take the focus from the outcome, meaning how long is it going to take to land a job, to focusing on the specific actions that you need to do around your job hunting. So I gave some examples of how you would create your little plan there about your resume writing, for example. Focus on specific actions, and then the other thing to do is to also start looking at tiny ways that you can reduce stress and anxiety. And it can be anything. You can try things like meditation, go for walks in nature, exercise, sport, taking a break from that job hunting exercise to actually go do something that's going to reduce stress is really, really important in this time. One of the other things I see clients face is their concern about being hired. They worry, So don't start feeding your mind with scary stories about, oh my goodness, the market is so tight and I am not going to get hired. Instead, start finding people to talk to or stories to follow or listen to, inspirational stories. Take the boogeyman story out of your mind and replace it with inspirational stories of people who have actually succeeded. So there are many people who, no matter what is happening in the market, they succeed. They can succeed consistently because they have a system, they have a structure. They tap into all the hidden job market scenarios as well. They don't only go through the normal channels of, applying on job search engines and so on. They do those other extra steps like building their networks, and some of them take on the time, they fill their mind or they occupy their mind by learning a new skill. So those are all important things you can do to reduce the stress and anxiety. And here's why you want to do that. Energy is transmitted, so even if you have a chat with someone over the phone, a recruiter or a hiring manager, when you're filled with stress and anxiety in that job hunting process, it's going to dent your confidence and you're not going to exude a positive, energetic mode. And people can feel that. They can hear it on the phone. They can feel that. And if you're fortunate enough to land an interview, they are going to see it and feel it in your energy when you present for that interview. So it's really, really important to manage and handle the stress. I know it's a natural thing. It's natural to feel that way. We all feel, I've certainly been through that. But one of the things I remember when I was going through my really bad time, and I was so worried because I was, stuck with that massive debt. I had just given birth to my daughter, and I had no idea how things were going to turn out for me in the job space. I just knew I needed to make more money. That's what I knew. I needed to make more money. Had no idea how to do it. But one of the things I did know was that I had to manage my mindset. I had to constantly work on uplifting my mindset and uplifting my confidence. And so, I did all those little things, like create a little plan of action, wrote out my plan of action for my job search exercises. And the other thing I did to handle the mindset was I read so many books and listened to so many audios. I had a copy of Louise Hay's book at the time called You Can Heal Your Life. And that book rapidly became dog-eared because I read pages from it and referred to it so much during that time. And the other thing that happened was that I was listening to Tony Robbins's Awaken the Giant Within. And I believe that audio cassette eventually stuffed up. Eventually I couldn't play it anymore because I had listened to it so much that it wore out. And so, I don't know what mindset tricks you have, but what works for you. The little things that you can do that make you feel better, that uplift the mindset, that uplift your energy, that reduces stress. And as I said, it can be anything: a walk in nature, playing with a dog. Animals are great for helping us reduce stress. They kind of keep us present in the moment because they want to frolic in the moment. Or if it's the cat wants to be bossy in the moment, so they keep us focused in the moment, and they're brilliant for that. But it's about consistently uplifting your mindset and being aware of your energy levels, and also knowing that it's a hard time. This is simply a hard time when you're going through job anxiety and stress. Give yourself compassion, be gentle with yourself, do the little things you can to keep lifting up your mindset, and create your plan of action, because a plan of action makes you feel like you can control certain things and that you're not leaving things to chance. You're not just waiting by the phone or hoping that something comes your way. So have your plan of action, whether your plan of action includes those steps I mentioned about writing your resume, or certain steps around uplifting your LinkedIn profile, or steps around creating a really great cover letter, or studying job selection criteria so you become really good at addressing those, or practicing interviews. Whatever your steps of action are, they're going to make you feel like you controlling something, like you doing something. Because that's the thing about taking action, is that it helps us feel like we're not at the mercy of the fates or the gods or destiny, like we are actually taking little bits of action steps to produce the result that we want. So I wish you well with your job hunting. I know a lot of this is going on for a lot of people at the moment, and I hope that the tips I shared are valuable and that it helped. And if you have any other questions, feel free to put a comment below, or to even direct message me if you have specific questions, or even if you think there's some things you might want me to address on these lives. I'm trying to go live a little bit more regularly, just to share some tips to help people out, give them ideas on how they can expedite or make their job hunting process a little bit easier. I'm happy to answer questions. So feel free to ask me via a comment or a direct message, or even suggest a topic that you want me to talk about. Happy to do that. Happy to help out wherever I can. And wishing you the best of luck in your job search as you continue to find what works for you, or what's going to make you really happy doing work that you really love. Have a great day, everyone. Bye for now.